Good morning, everyone, our champions, our leaders, our business builders, and our workplace warriors. This is Carol Neal. I am the CEO of Experience Connections and also co-founder of Atlanta Business Spotlight. And I'm here today to share one of our MillionHEIR Academy insider tips. My business partner, Tracy Randall, and I want to share information that will help all of you become the leader that you want to attract. So we're going back on some of our resources from our book collaborations, our insider tips, and from some of the information we put together for our coaching programs and for our workshops, and just sharing some of that here live on Facebook with those people that want to learn more, that want to keep growing, want to become the leader that they want to attract to their teams, to their business, or just to improve in their personal relationships. So we're very excited about this program. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. And today I have the privilege of sharing one of my most requested insider tips. Some of you may have heard of it, but I will tell you, every time you listen to something, there's something new. Here's an extra nugget right to start. Even if it's something you've heard before, you may hear a nugget that you didn't pick up on the first time, but more likely you're different. Since between the first time you heard something and the circumstances have happened to you and how you've grown as an individual, that you're going to have an aha moment you might not have the first time you heard it or read it. So today I am going to be sharing Plan Ahead to Follow Up. And this was an insider tip from our first book collaboration on the insider tips, 100 innovative ways to increase profit, that Tracy and I did with 16 experts contributing to the insider tips. But I think this one is so very, very important, and that's why people are always asking me about it. There's actually 3 parts to planning ahead to follow up. Now, y'all know the saying that the fortune's in the follow-up. And whether you are in business for yourself as an owner, a soulpreneur of something that you have created, or if you're in direct sales or whatever you're doing, you know that the importance is in following up, that it takes many, many contacts to result in a sale of any type. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is how can you maximize what you do. Most of us on here do a lot of networking. That is our primary way, whether either on social media or in person. And I specifically want to address what happens when you're networking in person. For those of you that are in the Experience Connections group, that is what we do. We have meetings and we get together and network and build relationships. And that's what networking is really about, is building those relationships. But you might be going to another event. Maybe it's a meetup. Maybe it's a conference you heard about. Maybe it's something in your industry or something that somebody else invited you to. So the first of the 3 ways that I want to encourage you to plan ahead for your follow-up is to do your research on the event. Now, we have a whole workshop on researching events and which ones are good for you, which ones make sense, whether you're going to be a vendor or just attending as a guest. And how to maximize that and spend your money wisely. But let's just say that you have, maybe you found an event on Meetup that you wanted to try out, and you're going to it and you've never been before. So there's some things that you want to do beforehand. You want to do your research about the event. Find out as much as you can through the event advertisement. Maybe it has an Eventbrite, a description. Maybe there's a Facebook associated with it as well. And know the format, know exactly where it's going to be, and figure out how long it's going to take you to be there, because you do not want to walk in late to a networking event. That does not make a great first impression. So plan for contingencies, but most importantly, know the format. Know what's going to be expected, how many people are going to be there. And if you can't find the information online, then reach out to the organizer. As an organizer of events myself, I will tell you, we love when people contact us. We know that they're going to come and be prepared. Know how many people to expect, so you know how many business cards and brochures. Are business cards going to be passed, or what are you allowed to talk about? How much time will you have to talk? It could be anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes or longer. What is the format? Will there be a meal? What are the charges? What can be expected as far as the people that are going to be there? I love when an organizer, says, hey, somebody calls me and says, hey, a great referral for me would be a realtor. Do you have any realtors coming? And then I know, as an organizer, who to connect them with when they get there, but more importantly, they know that they might be somebody there that they need to meet. So it doesn't hurt to know who's coming and to kind of plan out who you would like to meet in advance. Sorry, just forgot to turn off my phone when I started this. So scope that out a little bit. On a Facebook event, you can look and see who has said that they're coming. Click on them a little bit. I'm kind of getting into another secret of mine, my stalking secret, that I do research people a little bit. Now, I learned not to reach out to them in advance because they will think you're a stalker and it will surprise people. But it doesn't hurt to look and see who's going to be there that might be in an industry that would be a good collaborator for you, or a person of influence that you've been wanting to meet. And so then when you get there, you can ask somebody to introduce you, ask the organizer to introduce you, or somebody else who might know them, or just go up and say, hey, you know what? I've been following you on Facebook. I like what you do. I think we've got some synergy. I'd love to get to know you. So it's a great way, to plan for the effective use, because you might be going to an event where there are hundreds of people. So identify some that you particularly want to make sure you don't walk out that door without having met, as far as that goes. And on meeting the people and the influence, you might see who of your friends are going, because something that Tracy and I love to do when we go to an event is we kind of work it together. We do that third-party edification. So if you have a team member, it doesn't even have to be a team member, but a team member or a friend, a business associate, somebody you've met in another meeting, say, hey, I see that you're going to the such and such meetup on Friday. I'm planning to go there too. Would love to meet up with you. Have you been before? Do you know anything about it? Find out what they know about it. If they hadn't, say, well, yeah, let's hook up, and then when you go around, you can kind of work it as a partnership. You find out what would be great referral information for them and how you can edify them, let them know about you. And then when you meet someone, you say, oh my goodness, have you met Susie yet? She does such and such, and then you do that third party edification. So you're working it together. You can't do that unless you know who's going to be there. So again, look in advance and see who's going to be going to the meeting and understand the format about it. And if for any reason that you can't find out the information and you get there and you're just kind of winging it, don't totally wing it. One of the worst things you can say is when you get somewhere and you're asked to speak is, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know we'd be speaking, or, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to be bringing business cards. I wasn't prepared. If you say those words, I wasn't prepared, then they're going to think, well, she might not be prepared in business as well. So you never want to give that impression. Any event you're going to, just plan on having business cards, having information, being prepared to speak. Have your good 30-second, 1 minute, 3 minutes, whatever it's going to be. Have several different ones that are going to fit any situation ready. Practice ahead of time and be prepared. And of course, you want to also be prepared when you're walking into any meeting. Think about what you want to accomplish. I always tell people I used to always think, well, I'm going to, my affirmations used to be, I'm going to walk away from this meeting with 2 new customers and a business partner. No. Don't go in it looking for what's in for you, because that will be written all over your face and all over your attitude. Don't go in looking to sell. You're going to a networking event to build relationships. Now, they may lead to being a customer or to being a team member, but more likely they'll lead you to other opportunities and other people if you handle it correctly. So instead of those aggressive affirmations of what my goals were when I go to a meeting, now I do what we call faith formations. And those are my I am, I am a person of influence. People are attracted to me. I will find people that I can connect. And my goal when I go in is to identify 2 or 3 people that I can immediately think of someone who would be a good referral for them. And I'm going to make those referrals happen after the meeting. That's part of my follow-up, which I am getting to. I know this was planned ahead to follow up. But you see, all I'm doing right now is leading me into making the best contacts and relationships I can at the event. Now, again, it's a whole different tip to talk about what you do at the event. So let's go ahead and move into something else that you need to do before the event. And that is to have a follow-up system so that you know that after the event you're going to be ready to go. And Tracy and I we use 2 systems: Lead Outcome, which is an automated system that captures from the business cards, captures the information, and we can do automatic mailing campaigns from it. We also use Send Out Cards when appropriate, which sends the physical cards, which is a great way to stay in touch as well. So we have those systems. I don't care what your system is. It does not have to be one of those. It doesn't have to be that fancy. It can just be that, you've got a place where that after an event, you're going to file those business cards, or you're going to enter them into a manual database, or, you're going to take pictures of whatever you're going to do. There's going to be a system. This is a little hint for those of you that do go to Experience Connections. After you go to an event, you're going to get the roster. You get a physical roster at the meeting, but you also get a corrected roster if there are any changes sent out to you by the leader, within a few days after the event. Well, what I do is I save all of those to the same electronic folder. And in doing so, then when I'm trying to remember somebody, who was that person that I met that, that did, I don't know, pure romance, whatever. I can just go in and search that folder for pure romance, and I can find all the people that I've met, that are on all my different rosters that do that, and I can find out who I was talking about. So that's a really quick way to organize if you have Experience Connections rosters, or if you get any automated lists of attendees at any event or conference that you go to. Sometimes conferences will set out databases or whatever, is to put them in one folder so you can search that folder when you're trying to find somebody and get their contact information quickly. But your system could be a shoebox with the business cards. Whatever it is, have something in place. Know what you're going to do with it. Carry a couple of envelopes with you to put business cards in if you're out and about, and so you can write on where you met the person and be prepared. I used to have a fancy system, one of those big folders that had place for all the business cards. What I found out was it filled up way too quick, and I couldn't go back, so that didn't work for me. I have tried a lot of different things. You need to try. Just keep doing different things until you find what works for you, because it does not matter how fancy the system is or what it is. You've got to make it work. You've got to keep it happening. So find that system. So you've done your research before the meeting, and know a little bit about it. You know what your goals are. You know if there's any specific people that you want to meet. You're prepared. You've got your products on hand. You know what you want to talk about. And you're ready for there, and you've got something to capture the information. Oh, please, always when you're going to any meeting, have paper and pen ready. When you're at a networking meeting, and whether sitting around a table or standing or whatever, have something that you can jot down notes, because and when people, if you do have structured sharing and people going around and sharing what they do, be taking notes, or at least looking like you're prepared to take notes, because you don't want to just be sitting there thinking about what you're going to say. You really want to be listening to what the other people are going to say, and jotting some notes down to help you remember, because we meet so many people. You're going to forget a little bit about who you want to connect a person to unless you write it down. And the other thing is, you want to be able to act on it. You want to have that information, and you want to look like you're interested. And if the event also has a speaker, an educational topic, then you definitely want to be able to take notes. Even if you don't hear anything new and anything to write down, be ready, be respectful, and act like you have something to learn, because guess what? We all do. And I will tell you, the people that I've known that have been, for example, in the direct sales industry the longest and have reached the top of it, I still see them every meeting they go to. I don't care if it's a meeting that they have been to that same, maybe it's an opportunity meeting and they have been to it 1,000,000 times. They've got their paper out there taking notes for that new nugget or that new aha moment, or something that's said that reminds them of something that they wanted to do or say, or a different way to say something, because you are always learning. Remember, and I credit my business partner's husband with being the first person that I heard say this, was because, again, when you hear something, you're different when you hear it another time. So you're never hearing the same thing twice, even if it is the exact same words, because in the meantime, you've changed, you've had different experiences, and something's going to sound different to you. So always be prepared with that pen and paper, and you're getting ready to go. Now, here we come to the big secret sauce. This is the it sounds so simple, but this will actually could make a huge financial difference in your business. Did I get your attention with that? This is the one that could make the big financial difference in your business. When you schedule an event and you put it on your calendar, I want you to schedule the time that you're going to do the follow-up right then as well. That's my problem for not having the phone turned on. Whether it's going to be for something right after that meeting, maybe you're going to a daytime meeting and you're going to do it that night, or you're going to do it the next day. Plan on at least 20 or 30 minutes, depending upon the size of the event, that you're going to want to put the information into your follow system. You're going to immediately do those 3-way emails to introduce people that you promised you would connect them with. Go ahead and make those connections. Again, that's another tip on how we do the edification and the connections, because you want to be seen as the person that follows through, is good on their word, makes the connections, and is a good resource. Again, even if you're not doing business with that person yourself right then, you want to help them out. You want to empower and support other people, so they will think of you when they're meeting the people that you would be a good connection with and that you will become a great referral partner. And this is a big part of how Tracy and I have built our business. And the whole service that we do is of being service to other people, making those connections and looking for people that we can help move forward in their business. So you want to have a time when you're going to be able to do that. Now, there's a couple different ways. Again, you can schedule it right when you put the event on your calendar. Look ahead a day or two and say, okay, this is when I'm going to do that follow-up, and write it or type it if you're automated in your calendar right then. I know we always just think it's automatic. Oh, I'll do it when I get home that night, or I'll do it the next day or whatever. The problem is, unless you schedule it, life happens. How many of you have gone to meeting after meeting, maybe 4 or 5 meetings in a week, and by the end of the week, you can't remember those people from that first meeting or exactly what you were going to do. It sounds so simple, but it's so crucial. And it's not just, of course, putting on your calendar, it's following through. When that time comes, you need to do that follow-up. And if you can't do it right then, reschedule it. Don't just watch it go by on the calendar and then not do it. And have that information that you've brought home and you've put there ready to go, in your folder, however you're going to automate it. So this is a crucial part. Now, the second way to do that, if you don't want to schedule per event, and maybe you go to lots of meetings like Tracy and I do, is to have a certain time each week when you do follow-up. Maybe it's twice a week, depending upon how many meetings you go to, that you just know that, okay, on, Friday from 10 to 11, I do my follow-up from everything I've been to, this week, or, I follow up with customers or whatever. That's great if you can do that and have a habit. Tracy actually color codes her calendar, her written calendar, and marks out her follow-up times, usually 2 or 3 times a week, because she's doing so many events, being asked to speak everywhere and doing so many different events. So she has those specific follow-up times. So that is, again, it sounds simple, but this is the plan ahead to follow up, is to be prepared, know as much as you can about the meeting, so you'll know what you want to accomplish and have your goals set for it, and be prepared. Have a follow-up system in place, know what you're going to do with the information, and be consistent, and try different systems till you find something that works for you. Again, the best system in the world won't work if you're not using it, if you're not putting the information into it. And then schedule when you're going to follow up and stick to it. So that has been the insider tip today, to plan ahead to follow up. I'm looking forward to reading your comments afterwards, and hope a lot of people will be watching this in replay, and that you will join us for our next Millionaire Academy insider tip. Tracy and I will be doing these live in our different groups and sharing with people. And we encourage you to please visit our website, themillionaireacademy.com, for information on our 30 Days to Leadership program. And I believe soon we'll have some of our workshops up there as well. Of course, you can always reach out to us personally to see what's going on with Atlanta Business Spotlight and the Millionaire Academy. So y'all go out there and have a great day. Knock it out of the park. Go ahead and right now, and if you've got any events on your calendar, I want you to promise me you're going to go ahead and schedule the follow-up where you're going to do them. Y'all be inspired, be great leaders, become the leader you want to attract.